Hi, Silly Moustache here, and this is number 3 of my all about my guitar collection, if you like. So, smaller guitars were not a big thing for me for a long time. They came and went, but in 1998 I was celebrating my 50th birthday, and my wife said to me, "I want to buy something special for you for your 50th birthday. What would you like?" And I jokingly said, "Oh, a hand-built guitar." And she said, "Okay, well, where should we get it?" What? So anyway, it happened. Around Christmas, I approached a gentleman that deals in Martins. He's about 50 miles away from us here. Deals in Martins and repairs Martins and occasionally builds very similar guitars to Martin. And I was quite a fan of Jimmie Rodger's, and I saw that small guitar that he used to play, so I asked about, and I was told it was a double O. I'm not so sure it was. So we decided, me and this gentleman, that he was going to build me a 0028. So here it is. It's not a Martin, but it's made of Martin woods, which he used to get because he used to visit Martin quite a lot. So it's a 12 fret, as you see, 1 7/8 neck, short scale, as it should be on a 0028. We did have some teething problems. The bridge, as you see, is rather deep because we got the intonation wrong there, and so this is, I think, the 3rd bridge on it. But the neck, solid as a rock, got shallow tuners on it, which is rather strange choice, but there we are. And you'll see that the top has darkened down beautifully over the years since 1998. I picked it up on my birthday in March 1998, but the back is somewhat darker. They were perfectly matched, but the sun has bleached the rosewood on both the sides, because I moved it from one side of the house to the other, and so it darkens the white wood and it lightens the dark wood. There we go. Never considered myself a fingerstylist. I was very much a flat picker, but this encouraged me to do more, and as you see, I only use a thumb and single finger. So 1998, my first small-bodied guitar. There had been some others beforehand, but we're talking about the ones that I own. In 2000 and when was it? I've got to look at my list here. 2005, I decided that I wanted a Triple O, Collings, and I knew a shop that had one. So I went along, it was about 100 miles away, and they had this used 2003. Yeah, 2003, so it was 2 years old when I first saw it. Collings Triple O 2H, Sitka top, rosewood back and sides, somewhat more perfectly finished. So this is a standard scale, 25.5 for Collings. It takes light strings. So I put 12 to 53, 54 on this, depending whether it's a Dario or Martin. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful instrument. It did have electrics in it. I tried to do some work with it by plugging it in, and it didn't work. So they've all been taken out now. And so, Triple O 2H by Collings, 2003. And then we move on to 2016, before I got the itch for another guitar. I run my club, and an acquaintance of mine turned up with a Gibson L00, or even a Kalamazoo equivalent, I can't quite remember now, that he basically bought as a box of bits and put it together. And he's very much a traditional blues player. and he showed me this guitar, and I think he had to pull it away from me quite far. I just didn't want to be parted with it. So I decided that I was going to look for a Gibson L00. Don't have any Gibsons apart from one archtop in my collection, and so I thought, okay, I'll go along. There was a shop that had rather a lot of various types of L00s in stock at the time, so I went along to try these. None of them attracted me, but I looked over in the corner and there was this batch of sunbursted, rather brash looking guitars in the corner, and I said, what are they? He said, they're Waterloos. Oh, by Collings, yes. And I saw a 12 fret, and I like 12 frets, so this was my the Waterloo of choice. 12 fret, X-braced, not ladder braced like some people prefer, and solid headstock, which is not usually my preference. Sitka top with maple back and sides. Well, I knew about maple, I knew how that affected the tone, because it is neutral and sort of fast velocity of sound, if that's the right term, that they have on archtops. So I thought this would be quite abrupt. So in November, I think it was, of 2016, yeah, I bought my WL-12. I took it home and didn't like it quite so much, but you know, it was okay. And I had it up on the wall in my office, listening to the radio, and it improved enormously. Completely different sound, completely different feel to the Martin kind of designs. So that was 2016. Had lots of medical stuff going on 2017. Just starting to get better in 2018, and in 2020, in 2019, I saw a couple of people turning up at my club with Eastmans, and I was quite into those. I had an Eastman archtop, and so those, I thought they were probably pretty well made. And there was a famous shop in London called Ivor Morant's that was closing down after 58 years or something like that, and they had a sale. And so I rang them up and said, what have you got in Eastman's? And they had this E20P, excuse me, must have a sip, and an E2000. Small ones I feel are probably best with rosewood, but that's personal judgment. So they sent me this. I got a very good deal on it. They sent me this, and it was perfect. They had it set up for me if it needed it. Absolutely a copy of a Martin 028, herringbone trim, all that sort of stuff. Didn't have that nice pickguard on it at the time, and black ebony pins, which I don't like the look. I like sometimes. Those are a bit darkened down because they're bone pins that have been dropped in a cup of tea for a while. So I really like this guitar. It's also one of the better ones for teaching on Zoom, which I do quite a lot, if you're interested. And it's loud. It's not boxy or anything like that. It's not limited, but it's kind of compressed, if you like. And so I had one of these, and I thought, well, should I have got the 00? Oh, I've got some 00s, said my wife. You got 00s? And so, prowling around interweb one day, I looked at the Fellowship of Acoustics in the Netherlands, and they had this beauty, which is a 45 or a 42 type trim on an Eastman. It's called an E4000. And I had a little chat with myself, and I had a little chat with them, and it got shipped to me. And I've probably spoken about this rather a lot on other videos, so I won't speak too long, but it is a thing of great beauty. The tone is very different to that one because it's built differently. The neck is a completely different carve to that, although they're both lovely. The bracing is much lighter in this. The build is lighter altogether. It doesn't have that tough projection of that. It's less boisterous, but it's more subtle. And if Eastman were to make a Triple O of in this model, like my Collings, I might be tempted, or even the O. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 O's and double O's that are in my collection. I don't use them for performing. I use them sometimes for these things, and quite a lot for teaching. So there you are. That's number 3 in my collection of guitars. I hope you found that interesting. If you have any questions or comments to make, I'm very happy to respond to them. If you would like to talk about having lessons via Zoom, I do have some vacancies at the moment, so I'd be happy to help you there. So if you have been, thanks for watching. Bye.